31 book reviews in 31 days. We are on day 28, and I'm going to hit you guys with an amazing, amazing book that I am still obsessed with. And that is The Final Strife. Guys, this is what you call writing. You know, this book? Oh! Very few books can touch this. And that's not a joke. So, this book is extensive. Like, this book is amazing, and it's going to be so hard for me to kind of like try to wrap it all up in a few minutes, but let me try my best. Okay, so it's about several people, because we actually go through like several characters, but their stories are all important. But the main girl that we really focus on in this book is Scylla. So basically, in this world, there are 3 blood types. You have the red bloods, you have the blue bloods, and then you have the clear bloods, I believe that they are. And essentially, the red bloods are the ones in power. The blue bloods are, you know, servants to them. The clear bloods were kind of in the same rank as the blue bloods until a few centuries ago, when they tried to rebel and they got put to low level, like serfs. They got their hands and their tongues cut out. So basically, they sign language. Like, it is brutal. So yeah, so you have red bloods are high class and middle class. The blue bloods are, you know, low class, and then the clear bloods are no class. And that's not even a joke. So Scylla is living in a blue blood community, but she is actually a red blood. Basically, she was part of this secret rebellion that was taking place, where they were kind of trying to fulfill like this whole kind of prophecy type of thing, or, you know, this whole belief where they would infiltrate the red blood community by stealing their children, replacing them with blue blood children, and so they can raise red blood children to be like blue bloods and have blue blood mentality, and then the red bloods would go into the red blood society and take over. But because they have blue blood mentality, they would make things better for the blue bloods and bring equality. Because basically every 10 years in this society, they have this big competition amongst the red bloods, where the red bloods would have this competition, and the pillars of their society would get replaced depending on who won the competition. Because the reason why the red bloods are in power is because the red bloods can use their blood to, you know, perform magic, whereas none of the other bloods can. And so that's how they have, you know, subjugated the other communities. And every 10 years there's a replacement. So you have a pillar of strength, a pillar of knowledge, a pillar of something or other. So Scylla was one of the red blood children that were stolen and replaced with a blue blood child. So she has been raised as a blue blood. But basically, and as we go through, we figure out why she is not preparing to compete in this competition, because we're just like, wait, what's going on? You don't look like you're going to compete. You don't look like you're part of a community. Where are your people? We figure out why that has happened. Guys, when I tell you, this book, the world building is extensive. There are full-on histories, teachings, maps. Everything is included in this book, which makes it so much more immersive. Like, I can see myself in the world, and I can understand everything that's happening with a full comprehension of how we got from point A to point B. And it's great. And one other thing that this book does so great is address very, very sensitive topics. Things like drug dependency and trauma and guilt are addressed. And I'm like, it was done in such a real, sensitive way. I'm like, you know what? It isn't something that's thrown into the book just to be included in the book and say, oh, I spoke about drug dependency, I spoke about drug usage, I spoke about guilt and shame. No. They were addressed, and it wasn't kind of like, oh, we get quick fixes. No, the reality of everything that comes along with all of these was addressed in the book. And I was like, wow, really, really well done. And then basically, I've introduced like kind of a bit of what's happening in the world and kind of, you know, Scylla's history. But the thing is, the direction that you think it's going to go in, it doesn't go in here. In my head, I'm thinking this book, we're being set up for a tournament where Scylla's going to compete, and it's going to be this huge tournament. And you know how I love a tournament fantasy book, because the tournament in a fantasy is always lit. No. Basically, Scylla's going through a lot. And so she essentially figures out who she was replaced with. So the blue blood who's now living in a red blood home. And she decides to infiltrate. She gets kidnapped by said blue blood living in a red blood home. And the blue blood essentially is living in the house of a pillar. So she's the daughter of one of the pillars of the community. I think pillar of strength, essentially. but she's not living the life that she should live, you know, the life of royalty, because obviously her parents very, very quickly realized that you are not one of us. And whereas her dad was just like, you know what, you're still my daughter, I can't do anything, like, this is a child that we have, her mother made it clear from childhood, I hate you, you're not mine, how dare you. The only reason I didn't kill you is because I can't allow the shame of the fact that they infiltrated my home to be known. And this girl's name is Honor. And Honor's father has passed away. So Honor has just been living with this psychotic mother all these years, like, just with the knowledge that the mother hates her. So Honor captures Scylla and kind of like comes to some weird agreement of some sort. And this is where the story just starts getting super, super twisted, because Honor and Scylla are polar opposites. I kid you not. Scylla is impulsive and just always angry and hot-headed, whereas Honor is more timid and, you know, reserved. But the thing is, they both have a tendency to make bad decisions. Like, it's just, no matter what they get into, it's going to be bad. They come to an agreement that Scylla is going to train Honor so that Honor can compete. Because even though she was raised in that household, because she was raised with hate, she still kind of has like a good mentality where she doesn't really disdain those from the poor communities. And so they're just like, we can do this so that we can actually instill change. Guys, the chaos. Because people from Scylla's past come, people from Scylla's present are getting involved in other things. People from Honor's life are getting involved in other things. And then it all comes to a big blow at the end. And then we get a huge reveal where we're just like, wait a minute, what's going on? It's psychotic. This book is psychotic in the best way. Like, so many things are going on, and it's the first book in the series. So if you think, yeah, we end with a bang and we don't get an ending, no. We end with a bang and then we had a cliffhanger. The second book is out. It's called The Battle Drum. I haven't read that one because I'm kind of scared because of what was revealed in the end of the first book. But yeah, I'm going to get it. And then I'm going to read it, because there's no way I can let myself just live with what happened in that book and not finish it. No absolute way. This book, so good. It was one of the very first 5 stars I gave last year, because goodness, how insanely good was this book. Absolutely amazing. Loved it so much. So do be sure you go and pick it up. Yes. And yeah, do stop by tomorrow to see what other books we've read and how much fun you're going to have. I'll see you guys tomorrow.